Hello and welcome to Dotto Tech. I'm Steve Dotto, and we are glad you're joining us this fine day. Our show's dedicated to helping you get more out of your technology wherever you use it, be it at home, at school, or at work. And we have an exciting show lined up today. We have our first new format, App Wednesday show. We've got a testosterone-fueled lineup of gentlemen that are all going to be presenting their best apps. And for the first time ever, you get to choose, the audience gets to choose the winner. So I am really excited to see exactly. Art Factora has always complained that I am unfair as I choose the winner each week on App Thursday or each month on App Wednesday or App Thursday. So now we'll see. We'll let the community decide. So thank you all for logging in. I can see you guys flowing into the room right now. We already have up to about 40 people in the room. So that is awesome. So let me introduce our cast of characters and get things moving along here. First of all, we have Art Factora, a longtime producer of Dotto Tech when we were on terrestrial radio. Now he's the morning show producer at Z95.3. He's also a stand-up comedian, although he's sitting on his tuchus right now. How you doing, Art?
I'm doing well, Steve. Thanks for inviting me to this, even though you know that, I don't know, I caused too many problems for you.
You don't cause too many problems for me. Art, I have to ask you a very personal question.
Briefs.
Do you miss me down there at the studio?
No, because I watch you while you sleep, so it's fine.
Well, the creep factor just went way up on this. Next up, we have Isaac. Kendall is joining us. Isaac, how are you doing, sir?
I am excellent and ready to take Art to school.
Okay, I want you to talk a little bit louder, Isaac. You have to pump up your volume a little bit.
Yep, from the diaphragm.
From the diaphragm, Mr. Kendall. And John Biehler also joins us. John is the now the veteran of our Hangout webcast. How you doing, John?
I'm doing well.
Are you psyched and ready to go?
Absolutely. I have the least amount of... Go ahead.
Do you think the format's gonna be conducive to you being successful?
I hope so, because like Art and others, sometimes the voting doesn't necessarily go in my favor. So I'm looking to the public and our visitors and viewers to help pump up my apps.
Yeah, because that really helped you for App of the Year.
You can just cry me a river. We also have Paul Holmes on with us. He was having technical issues because he's in the hinterland of Victoria, BC. Paul, can you hear us now?
Paul is muted.
No, Paul's muted, so we may or may not have Paul on if he can figure it out. Poor Paul signed on, and as we were preparing, we all signed on about a half an hour ago to get all of the little technical details worked out because we're still working out this whole Hangout thing. And Paul signed on with us a half an hour ago on a Windows machine. And what did it do? It started to reinstall a bunch of updates on it, and I think he's still caught in the middle of update hell. It's happened to us all. And we also have one other very special guest, all the way from about as far away in Canada as you can get from where Paul is sitting, all the way over in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Fraseer Morrison. Hey, Fraser, how are you doing?
Good, sir.
Now, Fraser is not going to be a participant necessarily in our App Wednesday, but he is going to moderate the chat room. He's going to be in there answering questions and then bringing those to us and making. And if any of you are abusing the situation, he has the power to terminate you, as I did last show with Todd Maffin. But I got to tell you guys the story. I accidentally terminated Todd. We're still getting used to the interface here. And Todd asked a question, and I wanted to private message him back, and I kicked him out of the room, which is actually kind of awesome when you think about it. But he said, he emailed me later that evening. He goes, "What the heck happened?" He goes, "I took off the evening to help you guys out and to watch the show," and it said I was banned from the chat room. And so I had to apologize to Todd. So here publicly now I say I'm sorry, Todd. All right, before we begin, we will get to our first apps in just a few seconds. I have to let you guys all know that Dotto Tech is brought to you by you. It's actually brought to you by, we are a crowd-funded show these days. It's a completely different world nowadays, and so what we've got is we've got this thing called Patreon, which is a crowdfunding site where people can come and visit, and they can find out about our show, and they can choose to sponsor us, which means that we don't need any corporate sponsors. And for as little as $1 a month, you can sponsor Dotto Tech. And I think I've got $2 a month sponsors here. Art, you came on at $1, didn't you?
Hey, anything for you, Steve.
Thanks so much. And this
it's literally the least he could do.
Yeah.
I could be feeding kids in third world countries, but I'm giving it to you, Steve.
Thanks,
so don't
Art.
let us down.
I'll try not to. And actually, this whole Patreon thing started as John Biehler figured out the whole process and filled me in on it, and it is awesome, and we do appreciate it. So have a look, and if you are interested in becoming one of our patrons, we certainly do appreciate it. And that'll be it for commercial messages for this show. You're going to get about an hour of content, no more commercial messages, which is, I think, pretty darn fair. So, hey, the whole idea here is each of us brings the best possible apps that we can to the table. And since I see Paul Holmes is having issues, I'm going to step in and I'm going to bring apps for the first time in many, many months. I'll bring my own apps and I'll see if whether or not I can. I can.
Will it be for the BlackBerry?
Myself. What's that?
Will it be for the BlackBerry?
For the Palm Pilot.
Oh,
Okay.
Nice.
Palm OS.
Yeah, it's good web OS. It's a heck of a fine OS. So the rules are as follows. I am still in charge, Factora. So everybody gets to pitch different apps. At the end of the show, we will choose the best app that each person has picked. They will go into a poll, and you, our erstwhile viewers or listeners, can vote on it. So we're going to have total transparency at who wins, which is going to be absolutely awesome. Oh, look, we've got people from New... Tell us where you're from, by the way, in the chat room. Let Fraser know where you're from. I see we've got Nancy all the way from Nova Scotia. It seems we're big on the East Coast. I don't think anybody can sleep on the East Coast. So, all right, who wants to go first? Biehler?
Sure.
Because your connection is good, you get to go first.
All right. So I have an app called FireChat.
FireChat.
And it works for iOS or Android. And the really cool thing about this is, have you ever been at a conference, an event, or even your cabin, Steve, and you haven't had internet access, but you wanted to communicate with somebody else nearby? FireChat uses Bluetooth in a mesh networking functionality to basically share and extend your chat capabilities, even if there's no internet there, no Wi-Fi, nothing. And the more people between you that have the app running will actually extend the network. So I could literally, from Port Coquitlam, which is where I am right now, if Coquitlam to Ladner, where you are, turned on this app, we could actually have a chat with no internet involved at all.
Get out of town. That's ridiculous.
It's a very cool app. It uses this new protocol from Apple called Multi-Peer Connectivity Framework. And basically, it's just a really cool, completely offline thing. I found out about it because I was at a conference where some people thought it would be really cool if we could have our own little private chat room without having to go through Twitter and Facebook and those types of things. And someone found FireChat. And FireChat basically shows you who's nearby. And also you can actually be on a more public network and it can connect globally. But the real sort of awesome part about it is that you don't need to have internet access. Any device that can run these apps can work with it.
So it becomes like an ad hoc. Each device becomes its own transmitter as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So what does it do to battery life of the devices, I wonder?
Well, it's using Bluetooth, and if you have a newer device, you're using Bluetooth Low Energy. So it's actually probably better than having Wi-Fi and/or your LTE or your 3G.
Bluetooth range is pretty limited, so you do have to be in a fairly close area. But if you were at, say, a conference,
yes,
and you formed a private little chat network, it could work pretty well in that sort of environment.
Bluetooth typically is between 30 to 100 feet, depending on what's in your way. But again, the person that's at the furthest point of that zone, if they have it running, they will extend it another 30 to 100 feet, right? And it just keeps going and going and going. And it's a free app. It works on all the platforms, and it's totally cross-platform. It's completely free, and it's basically what AirPlay is based off of.
Mm-hmm. Off to a rousing start. I wonder.
AirDrop.
Yeah. Excellent. So John Biehler's start is FireChat, which brings chat into all the places that people don't want necessarily to have chat, like at the beach. Perfect. Or in the cabin. I think we could use it at our cabin. I'm pretty sure my family would not like it, though, if we did that. All right, Isaac, what's up next?
The app is called Push Bullet.
Okay. Can you talk up? I need you to push it a little bit more.
Yes, okay.
There.
So the app is Push Bullet.
And
it's available for both iOS and Android, and it allows you to send content from your PC to your phone.
Oh.
So be it links, photos, files, and you can write. I'll speak in the land of Windows. On a Windows PC, you can right-click on a file or a photo or a link, and in the context menu that pops up, one of them would be to push to your phone. And it's a free app, which I'm a fan of, free things.
So is this typically going to be used the way that like if I'm going somewhere, I'll quite often check Google Maps on my computer, and then I'll email the address to myself, and I'll have to look at my email on my phone when I'm driving there. So this kind of takes over for that, as it actually pushes it into your phone?
Right, so you can right-click on the link in the Google Maps URL on your desktop, right-click, send that to your device, and then the device will launch that in the Google Maps app on your device.
So it'll use so it works with any app.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter which app, it talks to all of the apps as long
Well,
as
no, sorry. So if you launch a Google Maps URL, your phone will recognize, the Google Maps app will recognize that is for it.
Mm-hmm.
So the same as if you were to click on a link in an email, the Google Maps app would open that if it was pertaining to Google Maps.
Okay. Very cool. Push Bullet is the app.
Yes.
Before we go to Art, I'm just gonna take a look where people are coming to us from, because we're in the chat, and take a look in the chat, and it's occupying me. That's cool. We've got Sherry from Minnesota. Look at that. Bruce from Ontario. Vicky from Maple Ridge. Ken in Calgary. Nancy's Neverland. Oh, in Peter Pan's place. That's so awesome. San Diego. This is awesome. Atlanta. Castle Rock. Castle Rock. Isn't that in the land where Game of Thrones? Oh, that's Castle Black. Sorry. I was that. Boston? Holy cow. People from all over. Benwick, Nova Scotia. That is awesome. Well, thank you from all around and far and wide. That's awesome. Okay, Art, what do you got?
My app could potentially change my life, and hopefully one of the listeners or viewers. I just bought recently a Fitbit, and I've decided numerous times that it's time to get a little healthier. I went on had a doctor's appointment, physical, and the doctor said I'm not dying, but I guess we're all kind of dying, but did say that it would be a good idea to get more exercise. So I downloaded, and we talked about a number of different pedometer apps and food apps. Fitbit kind of, and I know Biehler talked about his, the other one. What was that one called?
The Nike Fuel Band, which has been discontinued.
Ouch, that hurts. Well, Fitbit has a very long and strong future, I believe. So you buy the little Fitbit little thing, pedometer thing that you put on your band, and then it connects to a fantastic app, which you probably can't see. But yeah, it calculates all your steps. Then it calculates it in miles, and it even talks about the floors. You put in your weight and how much weight you would like to lose, and it suggests, because you also have to type in the kind of foods that you eat, so you have like calorie intake. So it really makes you accountable, and the best part about it is there's also a social media aspect to it. One of the reasons why I bought it is because a buddy of mine, Andy, he bought one, and he said, hey, you should buy one too, and we can become friends, and then he can see how much I'm walking, and I can see how much he's walking, and I can kind of...
You get the gamification of it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good. So how long have you had it, Art?
Not long, just less than a week. But it suggests that you do about 10,000 steps, and currently I'm averaging 8,000. So not bad from about 12 steps a day.
Which model did you get, Art?
Pretty big bump. The Fitbit 1.
Okay.
And
well, that does sleeping as well, eh?
Yeah, so it also comes with a wristband. So you take it out of the holder, put it in, puts on your wrist, and the best part about it checks how much you've been sleeping, which is very important because I have to get up so early, and it'll tell you how well you slept, if you woke up in the middle of the night, and it also has a little alarm that buzzes on your wrist and wakes you up gently. So that's nice.
Does it look for your rhythms so that you're not in the deepest sleep when it wakes you? Does it give you that kind of window?
Well, I put a timer on it, so
okay.
It wakes me up at 4 in the morning, which
Okay.
is a time where no one should actually have to wake up.
I used to have to get up at that time all the time, so I know what you're going through. But the nice thing is that you are, like at noon, you've already put in a full day's work.
True, that is true. And then afterwards, people ask you to do things at 7 o'clock at night when it's kind of your midnight. But you do it because you're friends, right?
Excellent.
'Cause
Okay, good. So the
goes to
Fitbit
you.
is the one that you use. It'd be interesting to hear in the chat room if anybody is using any of those, or which fitness tool they choose. Why did Nike cancel the fuel ban? Do you know, John?
Oh, I don't hear him.
No, I don't hear John either. Just a minute, John.
My bad.
Okay, you're bad. Do you know why?
Yeah, the hardware had a lot of problems. It was a very kind of a weird connection to how it connected around your wrist.
Yeah.
And everybody I know that had one had multiple returns and exchanges. So I think Nike just realized that the problem with an active wearable is that you're constantly doing customer support on the devices themselves, because people are wearing them while they're doing, they're working out or, being active, and so they take a lot of abuse. And I don't think there was the margins there. It's a nice expensive gadget, but it's still a very fragile piece of technology.
Did they stand behind the product? Did they give you refunds if you bought one?
No, basically they're just not selling it anymore, but they're still going to continue to develop the software. And the thing is that they really work company, so the Nike Plus software works on your phone and stuff like that. You don't actually need the device anymore. So. Okay,
good stuff. Okay, Paul keeps popping in and out, and I'm not sure he's going to make it back in. So I'm going to jump in and I'm going to enter the. I'm going to step in now and give you my first one. In my first app, I haven't given an app in so long. I'm rusty. Oh, I know what it is. It's WordSwag. Now, WordSwag is basically typography for your iPhone. Do you know those really cool memes that you can see people create, with a cat hanging and it says, "Hang in there, baby," that sort of thing? We see they're just all over the place on Facebook. Well, what WordSwag does, it allows you to take photos that you create yourself or just use art and then create the really nice font effects. And then lay those font effects over either your own photo or a background of your choice. And then very quickly, and it's really designed for Instagram, but you can upload those photos to Facebook or to other areas. And it just does really nice creative typography. I think it's $1.99. It's available only on iOS right now. But WordSwag is a very, very cool app that I use a lot. And I actually have a video that we posted online of it. So WordSwag is my first entry in ages. Are you guys writhing in terror at the brilliance of my app?
Should we?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was
then
awesome.
No.
It was awesome.
I have a better font-related app that's free that I'll talk on a future show about.
Oh, snap.
You can't do that, Biehler.
Remember when you got...
You can't do that.
You just factored up Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. That's you got 5 minutes in the penalty box, Biehler.
Mute him. Mute him for 5
Mute him.
minutes.
Jumping chimney. Yeah. Got a better app. Okay. That's it for round. That's it for round one. I can't. I think the chat room should be very critical of Mr. Biehler at this point.
For shame.
Completely undercutting me, just throwing my app under the bus. WordSwag is fine. It's a good app. Okay.
It looks good, but there's a free version.
Shush! Just you can't make it up, Biehler, and you don't get to go first now. Kendall, what do you got going? What's your second round app?
This app is really awesome. It's called Pebble Locker.
Okay.
Now, you don't absolutely need to have a Pebble Watch to make this work, but your Pebble Watch makes it better. What it does is when you launch this app, you can add trusted zones, be it Wi-Fi or a Bluetooth zone, and when you're connected to that trusted device, your phone won't lock. So I have a Moto X, and it's a function that's been built into that phone for some time. When I get into my car, my phone won't lock while it's connected to the Bluetooth in my car. But now, if I'm within Bluetooth range of my watch, my Pebble Watch, my home Wi-Fi, when I'm at my office Wi-Fi, the password won't relock the phone while I'm still connected to that device, which is really handy when I'm sitting at home and I just want to pick up my phone and I don't have to go through the password dance.
Okay, that is a very creative device.
It's
I like that
free
idea.
in the Android Google Play Store, but if you want it to be able to work with your Pebble Watch, it's $2.99 to unlock that functionality.
Okay. If it's connected with other Bluetooth, so like if it's connected to your headset, your Bluetooth headset, it will never lock.
Correct.
That's a
And
neat
then
idea.
you do have a password on your phone, so if you were to say set your phone down and forget about it, once you break that Bluetooth connection, the phone will immediately lock.
Okay. Got it. Okay. I see Paul Holmes has been jumping in and out trying to get online. Paul, are you actually there? Can you talk?
He's muted.
Try and talk, Paul. Poor Paul.
Oh.
He's tried so hard. He can't,
Sign language.
I have to tell the entire audience that Paul went beyond the Call of Duty because Hathaway bailed at the last minute. Now it isn't Hathaway's fault. He got completely blindsided by a huge issue at work and had to bail. So I reached out to Paul Holmes and Paul, try one more time, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Oh.
Paul, is that you?
My goodness, am I there?
You are sort of there. Try it again. No, it's not working, Paul. Paul. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen today, Paul. We're going to get you back on soon, but we're going to give up on you today. I'm so sorry. I do need the sound effect. Wah, wah, wah. Poor Paul Holmes. You can hang around and listen, Paul, or you can jump into the chat room. Why don't you jump into the chat room and join up there, and then you can say I had a better app on a constant basis. But it was a good try. That's the thing about this technology is we're still kind of figuring things out. So who do we got next? Thank you. Thanks for trying, Paul. We're gonna get you back on. I'm gonna make it up to you. Trust me. Art, what do you got?
No, it's Biehler's turn.
I don't want Biehler.
Okay.
I'm in the
Biehler's
penalty box.
All right.
Biehler's in the penalty box.
All right. My second app is the new game that everybody's going to play. And it
Look at Paul. He's going nuts.
lose it. Put him on the video. We should see that.
Oh, that's just awesome. Go ahead, Art.
Look at his crazy eyes.
I know. It's just like, oh man, the poor guy. And he went and found apps for us and everything. It's just ridiculous. Okay.
The new game and the only game on my this week or this month, I'm going to share. It's called 100 Balls. 100 Balls.
Okay.
It's
Of course.
the word 100 or the number 100 and balls. And it is very simple. If you download the game, it's one of those things that it's so simple. So what it is that there's a 100 balls up in I guess in a basin, and these cups come down, and you try and drop the balls into the cups as the cups circle around, and they pour the balls back in the top, and you just try and kill as much time while you're waiting for somebody as possible. I think that's kind of the gist of it. But it's so simple and so basic that people will play for hours.
Sounds good. So 100 balls.
100
Basically
balls.
pouring them out of cups and into a hopper type thing.
Yep.
Okay. Games never win, Factora.
I know that, but I needed 4, so there you go.
Filler.
All right. I'm going to give my next one now. And my next one is Face Fusion.
Didn't you already cover this one?
No, we've never covered it on the show.
Oh, I thought we did.
No, we covered it at the bar where we used it. Now, if you
Yes,
haven't
we did.
seen... Sorry?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. You're in the penalty box. Be quiet. The Face Fusion is an app that you use, and you take a picture of yourself, and you take a picture of another person. And then what it does is it basically works its way and checks the contours and lines up your eyes, and then it creates a meld. I've got my dog here. He never bothers me. Farley's trying to get on camera. It basically creates a... Farley, go away. It creates a composite of your faces. And the results, in a word, are hideous. People's faces should come together. And we did Biehler and Rebecca Bulwitt at the bar. And how did it turn out, John?
Horrible. Kill it in a fire.
Yes, it was terrible. It is. I don't know if have you ever laughed that hard at a picture of yourself? Really?
That wasn't a picture of myself, though.
It was. Well, you were part. It was you and Rebecca.
If you had an ugly baby.
It's even more than an ugly baby. It's like a Frankenstein baby. It goes way beyond. Well, you saw the picture. We should. I'm going to cut. I think I'm going to edit in the picture so when people are watching this in replay, I'm going to put it up, and it'll be. I'm going to share it. Now I've got one of me and Shannon, which was my kids actually threatened to disown me if I didn't take it off Facebook, but it's still there. So if you're my Facebook friend, you can see it. But at any rate, Face Fusion causes more laughs than almost any app that I have ever played with. It is, in a word, awesome. And when the voting comes later, audience, you should know that if you vote for Face Fusion and use Face Fusion, you will take years off your life because laughter is the best medicine. I know that. I read it in Reader's Digest. All right, Biehler, you're out of the penalty box. What have you got?
All right. So, as you may imagine, I have a lot of internet-connected gadgets in my house. And one of the challenges is always trying to figure out what the IP address that's available for all platforms. It's called Fing, F-I-N-G. And what it does is you connect to your network. I don't know if you can see this. And it basically shows you everything that's connected to your network. And this works way better than just logging into your router and trying to navigate through the horrible menus for Shaw or Telus or whatever to see what's actually connected to your network. This actually tells you the device name. So I have a couple of these little Raspberry Pi computers. These are like $35 computers, and they have a Wi-Fi thing on it. But I can never tell what their internet address is to connect to them. So this app actually lets you see what is on your network. You can also see if there's somebody on your network that shouldn't be on your network, which is also really good because you don't always know where these things are. And it displays like my Mac and my
Would this be a bit of a hacker's tool as well? I mean, if you're sitting in a Starbucks, can you see the IP address of everybody in the Starbucks?
Yes, you can.
Oh.
Yes.
So that could be something a little bit scary at some point.
Yeah.
Well,
Taking
being
stalking
aware,
to the next level.
Yes, exactly. But I'm stalking in my own house, so I think it's okay.
Well, Paul's joined us in chat. Do not steal my apps for next week, he's saying. Don't worry, Paul. They've all been entrenched. You're going to be fine. Okay. Go ahead, John. You can finish off with Fing.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just a really simple app. It's free. It's available for all platforms. And it's just a really handy tool that helps you discover what's on your current network.
Okay. And knowing the IP address, which helps you troubleshoot and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like
Or
maybe Paul could use this app right now.
Paul could well, but I don't think that was. I think it was audio drivers that was our issue with Paul, not the not.
You're not going to give me anything.
IP addresses. Sorry.
You could have given that to me.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to give you anything. Is Fing free?
Fing is free on all platforms.
Okay. Now I know a version of Fing that they pay you money to use. I'm going to show it to you in a few weeks.
That sounds dirty.
It does. Okay, so let's just kind of recap, because if you're keeping score at home and you want to know what you want to be voting for, John's two apps so far are Fire Chat, which allows you to create a little ad hoc chat network, and Fing, which allows you to spy on everybody's IP addresses in your neighborhood. Myself, WordSwag, awesome, and Face Fusion, even awesomer. Isaac is Push Bullet, which pushes information from your computer to your phone, which is actually quite cool. And Pebble Locker, which is only Android, so it's probably not going to win. Art has Fitbit and 100 balls.
Yeah!
Which Fitbit, of course, tracking the fitness, and Art is looking svelte, I think we might all say.
It's the lighting.
And 100 balls. So before we go on, we're at the halfway point. I'm just going to bring Fraser on. Fraser, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good. So is the chat room pretty active? I see a lot of chatting going on.
Oh yeah, there's definitely some banter back and forth, but there is a request to have more Android apps.
Who
Yeah,
from?
there is.
They want more Android apps.
You know
Yep.
why? Because it's 85% of the world.
Yeah, but most of those are in China, so really.
Okay.
So, Steve, I used Face Fusion. I meshed your face with my fist, so...
Oh, I can't. It's hard to see, but let me take a look here. Oh, you did. That's kind of... email it to me. We can use it as the logo for this week's show.
There you go.
It actually looks like Biehler's fist with Mrs. Doubtfire's face.
Indeed.
Sorry.
So nice.
Sorry.
I'm just looking at the other apps. Do we have a fair number of Android apps coming? Factora never looks at Android apps because he just kind of figured out how to use his iPhone.
Sorry.
Okay.
Both of mine so far have been Android.
Have incled Android.
I think Fitbit is also Android friendly.
That is true.
Thank you.
I have no idea if Face Fusion is. I know WordSwag's not.
I've got 100 balls on my Android phone.
See? So I'm 2 for 2.
It's so... now that we're in the just as plain internet environment, the double entendres might end up flowing a little more thickly than they used to when we were on radio. And, of course, yeah. And Isaac's the only one that ever got us in trouble on radio with his conversation about... Who was it about, Isaac? It was about...
Moneris.
Moneris. That's right.
Ironically, that was our last show on the air.
Was it the last time you guys were on with us? Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah. And, yeah. There we go. Very
After
okay.
it, therefore, because of it.
The show killer.
Show killer. Let's get going with round 3. Round 3. I'm going to start round 3 off with Isaac. Isaac, what do you got for us?
Timmy Me. It's the
Timmy
Tim
Me.
Hortons app.
A what?
Tim Hortons.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. You know why? Because Tim Hortons has now launched mobile payment at the store from your mobile phone.
Oh.
Yeah, now you're coming around, huh?
If I don't like Tim Hortons coffee.
Nobody does.
Wow. Well, there goes the sponsorship we've been working on.
No, we're funded by our community. Okay, so the Tim Hortons app. So tell me about it.
You have your Tim card, much like your Starbucks card, and you can. They now let you pay by swiping your scanning your card rather than swiping your card. You can
Okay,
scan
so
your
you're still using a barcode scan
on your phone. Yes.
So they're only 2 years behind Starbucks there.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they wanted
When you were
to do
talking mobile
NFC.
payments, I thought I was going to be able to like order it as I was pulling up and then make something really.
That'd be awesome.
Really
They wanted to do NFC, but iPhone is allergic to NFC, so.
Yes, that you got the iPhone there. I cannot understand why the iPhone does not have NFC, and it seems to be bound and determined never to have NFC.
Because there's too many different protocols. But Isaac, if you put the Timmy's
What?
You cut out there just at the end. You said if you put the Timmy's what, John?
barcode on his Pebble Watch yet.
Oh, yes.
I have not done that yet, no. But
Okay,
that
John-
is on the to-do list.
Okay, John Biehler's favorite hack of all time is he took his Starbucks barcode and he put it on his Pebble Watch so that he could pay for his Starbucks coffees with his Pebble Watch.
Here, I'm going to get my screen grab
I
here.
think he's
John,
only told
it
the
up.
story like 300 times on this show. But do you want to tell it again, John?
It's a good story. I think you just covered it.
I think I just covered it.
You know
All
what,
right.
though? You know why it's awesome, though, Steve? For two reasons. One, because it's nerdy. And
Yeah.
two, for the pure nerd pleasure of the barista going, when you wave your watch in front of the thing, and then he goes, whoa, what did
What?
you just do there? What?
Just
Yeah.
a minute. You said barista. I do not believe Tim Hortons has baristas.
No, we were talking about Starbucks just now.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, so Timmy Me is Isaac's third round entry.
And just to be fair, it also works on BlackBerry.
That won't get you any favors here.
In the chat room, does anybody have a BlackBerry? Let's see
Dun,
if they,
dun,
if
dun.
anybody does. Is there
You
anybody
can't get
else-
Google
that you
Hangouts on
use? Isaac, you cannot say that. Okay. Oh, Nancy thinks it's a winner. Nancy thinks the Timmy one is a winner. Oh, and Dave, who lives in Atlanta, misses Tim's. Okay, see, nobody in the chat room has said yes, they have a BlackBerry. So, how did we just end up with music coming through? Are you guys getting music through the headset?
That would be me.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh,
It's
okay.
my next app.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Well, let's go to John then. John, what's your next app?
So my next app, unfortunately, is not for Android, but it's for your iPad specifically, and it is called Circa. Let's see if we can do this here without too much reflection. Circa 1948.
Oh, nice.
And it is a really slick historical app made by a Vancouver team for the NFB. And what it is it's two separate locations in Vancouver in 1948 that you can virtually walk around in on your iPad. And what they've done is they've taken all the historical information, photos and maps and all those types of things, and they've actually built a 3D world set in 1948 Vancouver, around the Hotel Vancouver, and also something called Hogan's Alley, which is where the immigrant workers, drifters, politicians, and cops on the take. And in each of these two different zones has a bunch of different stories that you can sort of explore and you find by finding objects within the world, and then you get to hear the stories through like a radio or the TV or those type. Well, not the TV, but the radio and other objects that you find in the world. And it's a 3D, fully immersive iPad app. It's a 1 gig download. It's a pretty hefty download.
Yeah.
But it's beautiful. Actually, I bumped into the creative director for it a couple weeks ago at a 3D thing I was at, and I had never heard about it, and he showed it to me on his iPad, and it blew me away. So
it looks very rich.
It's a lot like what was that Myst? If you ever played Myst in the old computer days, it's like that, but imagine in 1948, so you got all the the post-war kind of feeling to it. All the music that you heard a little bit earlier by accident, that was me just launching the app, and it's done by the National Film Board, so it's really high quality, and it's completely free.
Good stuff. So especially if you're a Vancouverite or you spend a lot of time in Vancouver, it's going to resonate that much more because, as you said, it centers around Hotel Vancouver and Hogan's Alley, which is still around. So that's all great.
Yeah, it's a really neat app.
Good stuff. Okay, that is circa 1948. A lot of work. All right. Art, what you got?
Okay, so my next app is called Food Network on the Road, which kind of defeats the whole Fitbit first app. I love the Food Network, and one of the best shows, but people they don't like the host, Guy Fieri. Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. So some people don't like Guy.
Everybody likes him.
I like Guy. Okay, well, apparently geeks love him.
We need to know.
Yeah.
Fraser, can you make a poll question? Do you like Guy Fieri? How do you spell his name? Guy Fieri, isn't it? Fieri?
Well, yeah, but it's with an R. I don't understand how it's pronounced Fieri.
Okay, just say, do you like the food, the Diners, Drive-Ins, and Guys guy or not? And then let's put a poll up and let's see. I think everybody likes him.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
So
I've been to like 11 of his restaurants that he's done.
Well, and that's the thing. I used to go. It wasn't an app; it was just a website. It was called FlavortownUSA.com. So he posted, or somebody posted, all the restaurants that he visited across the U.S. So now there's a Food Network app that has that one. Has the Great Food Truck Race. It has Throwdown with Bobby Flay, the best thing I ever ate. So it just it maps all of the restaurants that the Food Network goes to. So if you're ever in Seattle, unfortunately, it doesn't do the Canadian shows. Or when I tried looking for the one when Guy came to Vancouver. See, Andre agrees with me. He's not a big fan of Guy. So yeah, they don't log the Canadian ones, but I mean we're so close to the border, and we go down to the States a lot. So I remember when I was in California, I did a road trip down, and I was just outside of San Francisco, and we went to a fantastic, it was a seafood place just outside of San Francisco. So anyway, so if you're in the States, if you're on a road trip and you want to check out one of the restaurants that you saw on the Food Network, it's one of the best apps, in my opinion, to check out.
I like this one. I know my son's going to like this. We've had good round 3 so far. So everybody in the chat room, if you click on the polls tab at the very top, you can enter and you can vote to choose whether or not you like Guy Fieri or not. And Andre says the better show is You Gotta Eat Here. See, I don't like the guy in You Gotta Eat Here as much. Although, John, you hung out with him, didn't you, John?
I did.
Yeah.
He's actually a really nice guy.
He is. I believe he's a nice guy. I just like Guy Fieri's energy. I really do like it.
John has a lot of energy too.
People hate about him.
They hate. Oh,
That's what they hand to him.
Because he's eating food all day. What do you expect?
He's so lucky. How does he he's not the smallest guy in the world, but how does he not become like 800 pounds? That's what I don't know.
Well,
I don't think
that guy
he
on that
eats
other
every
show.
day.
Yeah, he stays slim.
Oh, Man versus Food.
Yeah.
That
Oh, that
actually
guy.
isn't on. That's not on the list, which surprises me because I love that show.
That's not on the Food Network.
Oh, all right.
No.
Thanks,
it's
good
on
call.
other
OLM.
stuff, but yeah.
So does anybody? So let's just check out the poll. Have we all had time to vote? Okay, we're going to give it a few more minutes, and then we'll end the poll, and then we'll take a look, and then Fraser will let us know what the results. Can you see what the results are at this point, Fraser?
Not at the moment.
Okay. It's interesting. We're still learning how to use the polls. Okay, that is actually Art. I'm going to give you props. That was a good one. Okay, it's my turn. My app is called Tabs, and it's for guitar players. And it's not the cheapest app in the world to buy. If you buy it in the full version, I think it's $7 or $8. But what it does is for any song, any pop song, any historical song, you can get all of the tabs. You can get all of the chords. You can get taught how to do it. You get all the lyrics, and then you can play along with it. It's just like the ultimate music book for guitar players with all of the tabs and all of the in helping you through the entire song. It is actually really an incredible app. Art, have you tried it?
No, there's other apps out there, but there's a lot of in-app purchases, which is very annoying. So
Okay.
is this one you buy up front and then everything is free?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not cheap. It's like $7.95.
Well, I'd pay $8 without having to pay $1 for every song that I want to.
Yeah, I don't believe you have to pay. My daughter's the one that showed it to me, and she's the guitar player. But looking at it, there's a lot of free ones that are included as well, and all the lyrics and everything is there. So she's totally enamored by Tabs, and I think it's an awesome app as well. And is that it? Have we all had a chance to mention our third round thing? So let's just go to our poll. Let's see how we're doing on the poll. So I'm going to end the poll. At the end of the poll. I'm ending the poll right now. There it goes. And the end of the poll is 61% of our audience likes Guy Fieri. I think they like his energy. It's like somebody we know.
It was fun watching him when he shot the show in Vancouver. There was a couple. It was neat to see Vancouver.
Yeah, well, I think they've got a great crew, and as I say, great energy in that show. And as a host, as a guy who hosted a lot of TV for a lot of years, I respect him a lot. So Brett actually has mentioned in the chat room, I see, try Guitar Tap. There's no in-app purchases at the best, and so that's another one. So Guitar Tap. There's probably a wealth of those sorts of Guitar Tab type apps, and good. Okay, so that's it. We're through round 3, and look at this. We're kind of on time, Art. But you don't have to keep giving me time signals and telling me we have to take a break.
There's no commercials that I have to play.
There's no commercials putting money into our jeans either.
Please donate to Steve. He's hungry.
Yeah, donate to Steve. He's hungry. Yeah, we're not gonna push that too hard. Although a lot of people that are on right now, I know, are Patreon supporters because I recognize some of the names. Some of the people on the panel are Patreon supporters. I recognize them. All right, round 4. We're down to crunch time, and I'm going to. I'll start out round 4. Round 4 for me is an app, which is it's not a smartphone app. It's actually an app for your computer. It's called Canva. It's a web-based graphics application, and it is taking the internet community by storm. Anybody who has to post any graphics into social media in any way, shape, or form should try out Canva. It's free, and it does have in-app purchases. But the basis of using this app is you just go to canva.com, and it's free to use. And it has all sorts of, its templates are for doing like your Facebook, a header image, a Pinterest post, a Facebook ad. They're pre-formatted as far as the size to be optimized for the social media network that you're preparing the graphic for. And then they've got a whole bunch of free backgrounds. And again, the same kind of text treatments as we were talking about with WordSwag. But you can also incorporate your own photos. So you can create really nice and compelling social media related graphics very easily and quickly. They also have in-app purchases, but it's a flat line fee. It's $1 per item that you add if you're going to use stock photography or graphics that you buy. So it's very similar to going to a stock photography shop, for example, but it's all built in, and you don't have to. You can compose your entire image, and you don't pay until you're actually exporting the image for whatever your purpose. And you can export it in low res for for web use, or you can also export it in high res and use it for print. So it's a very creative app, and everybody that's using it is pretty enamored by it. Guy Kawasaki has joined them as one of their board members and kind of their evangelist. So I think they've got a lot of momentum. And of all of the graphics, all of the web-based graphics packages that I've used, like PicMonkey and all the others, I like Canva, and I found that I'm using it every day now. I'm using it for doing the cover art for all of my videos. I'm using it in my Facebook posts. I'm using it an awful lot. Canva, it's a killer app. Are you guys odd? Not odd, 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 AWED.
Oh. I think my internet cut out. I missed that.
You missed the whole thing? Want me to do it again? I'll do it again. I'm not doing it again.
Art's really keyed up for his fourth app. So.
Awesome
It's
stuff.
awesome.
Biehler.
All right. So I'm going to exclude most of our audience really quickly. My next app
Here comes
is
the
called,
geek app.
Yes. No, it's called Pedometer, and it's for the iPhone 5S only.
You changed. It's
No,
steps.
I didn't. It's called it's Pedometer if you're looking for it on the App Store, but basically it's a step counter. It uses the iPhone 5s's built-in M7 chip, and basically you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to be have the app installed. It's the iPhone 5s is always tracking your steps. Maker Faire, like we talked about on last week's show, and I walked around the San Mateo Fairgrounds for 2 days, and each day I did something ridiculous like 27,000 steps on one day and 24,000 steps on the second day. And basically, I did a lot of walking. The thing is, it doesn't use any battery or very little battery, and you don't even have to have the app running. It's always in the background, and then the app basically connects to that, and I don't know, you probably can't, you can't see it on here at all, but it actually creates a graph and a chart. It shows you what your activity has been. You can save it. They say that you need to walk about 10,000 steps a day on average, and it's just a really good, it's like a free version of your Fitbit that's built into your phone if you have a 5S.
Just for people with the 5S.
Just for people with the 5S.
Interesting how you would choose such a small marketplace. You must be very confident in one of your previous apps today, Mr. Biehler.
Possibly.
That is a good app. It's like Fitbit, only not as good.
It's free and doesn't require you buying any additional hardware.
Yeah, but I did it for my health and life. So.
As is John.
Yeah.
All right. Isaac.
My last app is Android exclusive. It's called SMS Backup and Restore. So because Android does not need to do any like Neanderthal things like plugging into a computer to back up your data, when you move from one Android to another, your Google account moves all of your data for you, with the exception of your SMS messages. So what this app does is I've got it programmed that it automatically backs up at 12 o'clock noon and 12 o'clock midnight, and then it backs it up to my Dropbox. So if I was to lose my Android phone or move to a new Android phone, I simply need to install the SMS Backup and Restore, and then restore the last backup from my Dropbox. Once again, freeing me from needing to have a USB cable plugged into my computer for my phone.
And that's to save all of your SMS messages.
All my SMS, yeah. And what it does is it does a incremental backup. So it only sends up to Dropbox just the changes from the previous backup. I think I've now got about 17,000.
I don't believe I've ever archived my SMS messages.
I am a digital pack rat.
Okay. Anybody else archive theirs? No.
Nope.
No.
This is where the soundboard would come in with the birds chirping, right?
Yeah.
Crickets.
Exactly. Chirp, chirp,
The
chirp.
crickets, yeah.
Okay.
Are you hoping to use this for like future like legal cases against you, or?
You know what,
Blackmail.
Art? I've got every email back to like 1997. So if you ever wanted to say, "Hey, do you remember that joke I sent you back?" Yeah, I have it.
Oh.
I am a digital pack rat.
That's not weird.
No, it's not weird at all. But really, we're hanging out on a Wednesday night talking about technology apps.
Absolutely.
None of us is like mainstream
the norm.
here.
It's
No.
true.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Yes. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. So now we're down to the final. We're down to the final app in this week's show. Art, what do you got?
Wow, I got one for you.
Oh, here we go.
So when I was searching for some fun new apps, I had 3, and I needed one more, and I was
More
looking
filler.
around, and and there was a news story that said I think something along the lines of like creepiest app coming out of Japan. So it was called Watching Cute Girl. So I thought, hey, why not download it? What it is, apparently, in Japan, and I just came back from Japan, so I totally believe it. This thing blew up back in 2012, and essentially it's a young Japanese girl on loop, and she just watches you. You can see, sort of see it. She watches you, and it enables your. It does enable your mic, so you can talk to her. And I don't speak any Japanese, so don't be surprised, because I'm not Japanese. And so she speaks back to you in Japanese, and it's apparently like 100 hours of video just looped together.
John,
and
talk so they can see it.
yeah, there we go. I guess it's
make
see,
noise.
he downloaded it.
There it is.
Because I was going to talk about it until I saw you. I had it on the list.
I beat ya.
So it's just a girl looking at you.
She
And
talks to
smiling.
you.
But she talks to you in Japanese, so
And she'll react to you talking to her.
yeah. And if you don't talk to her for a while, she falls asleep. Yeah,
Ooh, that's
so,
not creepy.
well. I mean, if she
It's
said
billed as
something.
the creepiest app ever.
If she said something wrong, you can't.
And
you
is
know.
it free?
Yes, it is free. I wouldn't
So
pay
what's
for
the
it.
business model? How do they make money?
I don't know. They're probably stealing all my banking information as we speak. I have no idea.
She's actually in your phone taking stuff when you think she's sleeping. Yeah.
That's probably. Yeah, I did notice. I couldn't find my wallet this morning, so
Okay.
maybe it's like the
Well,
Ring. Maybe she comes out of my iPad.
Okay.
Perhaps, Art, you could double down though and marry that together with the Talking to Women app that you had.
My girlfriend still has that app, and she uses it regularly. So it has an audience.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's an
So,
audience.
folks, here's what's Here's what's going to happen now. We've got all of
Agatha,
that.
hold on. Agatha says useless. How dare you, Agatha?
Agatha's right.
Download
Agatha-
it first. and
Agatha,
then you
thank
tell.
you. Thank you very much, Agatha. Here's what we're going to do now.
Creepy.
Is each and every week what happens, or each and every month, what happens is each one of us gets to pick one of the other contestants' top app, which is then going to be put into a poll. Fraser's going to enter them into the poll. He's going to publish the poll, and then you, our audience, get to vote to see who actually wins. And the prize this week, this month, is a Roam Mobility package for our lucky winner here on the panel. You, our audience that has been so patient, get nothing. Not this week, but we're working on prizes for you for upcoming shows.
What about
the
free
problem is that
hugs?
people are all over the Roam product is very specific to Canadians. It's for Canadians that are traveling to the United States. What it does is it gives us unlimited phone, text, and data while we're on the road with our Canadian phones.
So we're
in the
not
States.
treated the way Moneris treats people.
That's right. It's an awesome gift for somebody that's here in Canada. So I'm working on some online prizing for our studio audience, for our virtual studio audience, that anybody can use anywhere. But it's not in place yet, so sorry. So let's go down. So let's go down to the to choose prizes. So John Biehler,
Yes.
you get to choose from my Word Swag, Face Fusion, Tabs, or Canva.
So many choices.
Well, I'm going to have to go with Face Fusion because it has been very entertaining to mess with it.
It's
And
pretty okay.
definitely the creep factor and the amount of traffic on Facebook when you tagged me and Rebecca on that photo was ridiculous.
Yeah, it creates, when you post a Face Fusion photo of a couple or of you and a person, it creates a tremendous amount of energy. My daughter works with a youth group, and she prepared a whole bunch of pictures of she would take one youth and a famous person and put them together, and then they had a game one night to guess who the famous person and who the member of their community was, and she said that they've never had so many people were like on the floor with their sides hurting. They were laughing so hard as they posted these pictures, as they looked at these pictures. So I think it's a good choice, John. So Fraser put in the winner, the eventual winner tonight, which is Face Fusion. All right. I will now choose from Isaac Kendall's Push Bullet, Pebble Locker, Timmy Me, and SMS Backup. And I'm going to give it to Push Bullet. I think Push Bullet's actually pretty useful. The fact that you're on your computer and you can right-click and send something to your phone into one of the apps on your phone, I can see that as being quite a useful thing. So I'm going to go with Push Bullet for Isaac. Isaac, you get to choose from Arts.
You lucky bastard.
Fitbit, 100 balls, Food Network on the road, or watching Cute Girl.
Oh man, how much time do we have left? Let him think about it first. This isn't fair.
Only because I'm a big fan of the flavor.
Japanese girls? Oh,
no.
sorry.
Nice. No, I'm a big fan of the Flavortown USA. I used it when I made a road trip across the U.S., so I'm going Food Network on the road.
Yeah, that's a good choice. I think that might be a contender. It's not as good as Face Fusion, but it's a good contender. So, Fraser, if we can put in a Food Network for Isaac and Art, John Biehler's Fire Chat, Fing, circa 1948, or Steps.
I actually downloaded 1948, and I was going to use it on the show, but I thought I already used it. So I will say 1948. It is it's a storage squealer though. It's a storage.
Yeah, John didn't want you to use that one. John wanted you to use Fire Chat, didn't you, John?
I think Fire Chat's it is a winner app.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna win this week though. What a surprise!
Why not?
That's a shame. I'm pretty, but that's the beauty of this round. When others have, because there's strategy involved.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What strategy?
Fraser, do we have the poll ready to publish?
Yep, it's all ready to go.
We have it ready to go? Have you put it out there? Go ahead and publish it. Folks, click on the polls. And now you get to vote. Is it Steve with Face Fusion, John with circa 1948, Isaac with Push Bullet, and Art with Food Network on the road? This is your chance. The first time ever that we're going to have a completely democratic process here on Dotto Tech.
This is Are you kidding me?
What's that?
I think that you will have the final say again.
How am I going to have the final say?
Because every time we change the way it votes, you still decide who wins.
The audience is voting.
All right.
Factora,
ladies and gentlemen,
you're such a negative Nelly. No wonder people don't vote for you.
Choose the first one.
No wonder people don't vote for you.
Don't bother reading the rest of them. Just choose the first one.
We're going to give it a few more minutes for everybody to get in and do all the voting. Oh, folks, this is exciting. This is darn exciting. There's so much on the line here today. I'm going to end the poll in, I'm going to count to, I'm going to do it now. You ready? Okay. And I am ending the poll now. And the winner is, oh, damn! Oh! Face Fusion won! No! People, what were you doing?
Everyone's got to eat, Steve. Everyone's got to eat.
You know what? I honestly think that's a pretty legit one. I think that's pretty legit. I can't believe
it's like his most legit app ever.
Thank you, everybody. Well, I think it helps that a good chunk of the viewers right now are from the States, so they're all going to be using it.
And everybody's hungry right now, too. We're all ready for a
I wish I voted
snack.
for Push Bullet.
I can't believe that Push Bullet finished second.
I can't believe that either.
I can.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, this is most awkward.
Painful.
People. You've put us in a terrible position because Factora now is going to think that he's been hard done by all these previous times. But nevertheless, the public has spoken.
Has come out.
The public has spoken. In Art, I'm not changing the ruling. You can take back.
Do it.
You can take back what you said.
No.
You're gonna win.
I will say that I like the new voting system. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you. It is good. I like the energy. I like the energy of having the chat room. I appreciate so much everybody having been in Oh, somebody wasn't able to see the poll. Rob, you couldn't see the poll.
Oh,
He wanted to
that
vote for
could've
Push Bullet.
Oh, Rob, tell us what you would have voted for. Not
You
that it
could've
makes
pushed
any
me over the
difference, 'cause
top.
He
Push
won
bullet,
so many.
push bullet,
He
push
won by
bullet.
quite a ways. It was good. And that's it. And that's going to be it for this week's show. First of all, I got to thank Paul Holmes, who's in the chat room. And I never saw the poll. First one, but yeah.
Yeah, Food Network. What?
Yeah, you would have been that. All right.
Crushed you suckers.
Yeah, so maybe there was an issue with people not clicking on the poll, so they have to.
Oh,
look
that's
for the poll.
that's
That
probably
could,
it.
that could have been it. Well, no, you still would have won, Art. You still would
Okay.
have won. So, first of all, I got to thank Paul Holmes for spending time and trying so hard to come on board. We'll get you on the show really soon. Isaac Kendall, thank you very much, sir.
Thanks for having me.
John Biehler, thank you as well. I'll put everybody's Twitter addresses out when we do a follow-up. Anybody that's not, by the way, subscribed to our newsletter, I think you all probably are subscribed to our newsletter. But if you aren't subscribed to our newsletter, make sure you drop by dottotech.com, and there you can subscribe, and you'll be let every week. We'll have on our website, and we'll also be sending out the newsletter invitations so that you can participate if you've enjoyed being part of our studio audience. So we're going to try and find ways to get the audience more and more engaged as we go on. So if you have any suggestions there, be sure and drop me a note and let me know. Art, thank you. Fraser,
No
thanks so
worries.
much for managing the polls and for
Thanks,
being there
Fraser.
for us. Was it fun? Was it worthwhile?
Oh, definitely.
Oh, good stuff. He's in such a party town too. In Halifax, I'm amazed that he can tear himself away.
Can you send me a donaire?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and our champion tonight, winner. I don't have any music for you, fanfare, but I will have a fanfare. Art Factora, congratulations, buddy. Yes, well, that's all.
Thank you.
Clap for Art. And with that, I'm gonna wrap things up. Remember I was going to do another pitch to drop in Patreon. But yeah, stop by Patreon if you've enjoyed this and take a look and see if you might want to join us as one of our Patreon patrons. I certainly appreciate that because Dotto Tech is one. Oh, this is John Biehler. Go to run, don't walk to your nearest bookstore to buy John's 3D printing with Autodesk book. Where's it available, John?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. That's right. You can use the Tim Hortons app to purchase it in Timmy's.
If you're in Metro Vancouver, I'll be performing at Laugh Lions Comedy Club this weekend, Friday and Saturday.
There we go.
Making jokes.
Okay.
Email me. I can put you on the guest list.
Okay. And what's your website, Art?
Funnyenough.ca.
Funnyenough.ca, or follow him at Art Factora on Twitter. And with that, I'm going to say we're going to call it a night here. Thank you so much for joining us for the show tonight. I appreciate the studio audience very much. You guys are awesome. You really added a tremendous level of energy to it. And with that, I'm Steve Dotto. Have fun storming the castle.